The third one is if there has occurred a damage. Damage doesn't have to be physical, it can be instantaneous, it can be in the future, it can be, even be financial. Or once you establish there was a duty of care and it has been breached, and as a result of that breach of duty of care, if they get blood transfusion that isn't theirs, they get an infection. Now once you prove those particulars, it's straightforward. The law is straightforward. Once they're negligent, they're negligent. Now, as the issue for your father, sometimes when you go to court, they say that someone who is faced with grief, they usually try to find something that can explain their grief. That's why they're alleging someone to come to court. Now you can, the first that will be asked is there a correlation between the COVID and the kidney? You as a patient or you as an affected family member cannot establish the correlation, but a doctor can. That's why they usually bring in doctors. You might say that they're against you, but they're not. They're just trying to prove that this person who had COVID, them being sick did not affect your father who had an issue with the kidney. So yeah. And for laws, I'm not that particularly well versed with health law, but I know there's a Health Act. It's easy. You can just Google Health Act Kenya. You'll find it. And it's straightforward to read. It's not as hard as other laws. So even if you look it up now, you can find it.
How many of you knew of video? Be honest. Now, imagine you have got a case in court, filing yourself and video.
But and Wakili, thanks a lot. I think the Medical Council has been quite proactive of late, and I think there's a nice handbook that I saw published recently. I think that was more of the code of conduct of medical practitioners. I know the hospitals are a lot more complex than any other players, but we also expect, the expectation is that the medical doctor provides that leadership and makes sure the whole system functions for the benefit of the patient and the benefit of care. And I think that will be one document worth reading. Of course, I will not, the other acts of parliament. Should I talk about the National Coroner Service Act? The one Dr. Odwor is spearheading. Maybe, man, you should be in that public participation, because the National Coroner Service Act, that's the one that will oversee how autopsies are performed. And the reason is that some of the autopsies that should be performed under that act are cases, are autopsies where there is that presumption of negligence. And then the second thing, the act provides for it provides that the coroner should provide an opinion on how that particular mortality should have been prevented, or how similar mortalities can be prevented in future. Sort of links to an inquest in a way. And I find inquests to be very powerful tools for that act that I was talking about. How do you convert the science into policy? So do you invite yourselves to it?
I invite myself.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
National Coroner Service Act.
It's right.
Oh, it's
Yeah. It's an act that was enacted in 2017, but it's not been active. Of course, many of you, when you think of coroners, think about human rights and all those egregious deaths. But this act is broad enough to cover some areas. You've seen how difficult the autopsy is. So it's supposed to cover some areas that may be of benefit to you, not only from a policy perspective, but also from a safety angle. And which other acts? I think those are the two acts that I can think of now. National Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council Act. You've mentioned the Health Act. Those are very important ones. Of course, the Constitution and the articles on the right to life, right to the highest attainable standards of health. So very important things to always mention. Yeah. But Wakili, thanks for that.
So with that, I call upon one of our board members to give vote of thanks. Then I request to take a photo of that. You can do that. Next time you know something. But I hope you are going home knowing that you can something. If you have any other questions, you can ask the lawyer. Have any other more interesting question, you can ask the doctor. And yes, our president, we call him president, the doctor. Sometimes he knows
People
everything.
you will find let me get there.
He knows everything. So,
I am not a doctor. I am a kidney physician.
president.
But I can introduce you to another farm. Different expert. How to become an expert patient when you take time to study your condition, read anything you can know about it. You know, sometimes when you, what happens when you are diagnosed with something, what is the first reaction? Yeah, scream, then you go into denial. Into denial. Now, how I came out of denial, find a way out. Like, I know this thing, there's something people have missed. So I was looking for it. What if I do this? What if I do this? So, the process, you educate yourself, you read, use Google. Don't treat yourself with it. When I keep imeandikwa hapo, just for knowledge. I used to read and go and compare it. This one. This one. Kaona kuna kidney zinatengenezwa zingine za tissue, na zingine wanajaribu kufanya na animals ile big kidney. So all those things we always calling, waiting to hear that magical word. Yes, we found something. But educate yourself, study. And read widely, not just your condition. Read about health system. Why is it so difficult for the Ministry of Health to give kidney transplantation medication for cancer, so that stop spending 10 billion per year on dialysis. Transplant, we can spend 3 billion for the same population. You know, such things. And then when you, so that also when you are going to present to policymakers, decision makers, you don't come out now as somebody who just walked in village and started speaking English all over the place. At least you have an idea of what you're talking about. You have numbers, figures, statistics, and they are there, they are available. You just need to go and look. Finally, invite yourself to places you know you are not welcome. Unaenda. Yes, get crash. Those kama hiyo tumeambiwa utaenda. You'll find it.
But how do you get to know?
Because you are looking for them.
Somehow
You see, if you're in that space, if you're in that space, uko kwa hilo ma website, kwa Twitter, and
even Facebook, you know, if you keep on looking for you, though, you will start doing research like that.
are you on Twitter? Are you following poisons and drugs and poisons, so that when they post something, yeah, you place yourself in places where you get the information.
So anything you can do that for what you've done.
Okay. So,
It's a band, right?
First of all, you tell us what set means. You know what the rule means. Set.
good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sarona Lydia this afternoon. I regret not have come early as usual, but that's my apology. the short time I've been here, I've learned a lot. And I don't feel like I've wasted the afternoon time. But I want to believe those who came before me, they really got to know. When Eunice invited me that today the discussion is about increasing diagnosis for people, just for myself, it's one of those people's awareness month. But I didn't know that you could be talking. California, you've called yourself an expert. But listening to you, it's like your own patient, your working patient. Maybe you haven't known. And also listening to that
Walong.
I'm imagining how many lives you have been saved. You don't have to wait for us. Also, the woman who have lost the child. It has taken me back to some very young couple, 50 years to dying. Like, I remember even one, Alex, things was a kind of what. And one of the doctors in the family said, you know what, let me go up. So I'm more aware that if you hear young people, they may not know, they don't have this information. Somebody needs to tell them, you know what, you need to see and see. But in most cases, just as you mentioned, when somebody dies, they start looking for who do you blame? Is it the doctor? Like the way you say, oh, Yamu. The first day you said, Yamu. Secondly, start looking for which relative. The third one now, the couple starts blaming themselves. So as patients, you need to learn. And you may not be a patient, but you also have caregivers. They're the ones that to give them care. So I think this session today, I'll say time was short, maybe for me because I came late. But now, can we have more of this? Even if you say like after every 2 months. Let me tell you, the next time I hear Mr. Dikono, I'll be the first to give them because it's talking so smoothly, so it's at the back. I was doing a lot of reflection. How even most of the time, even end up with the wrong misdiagnosis. Even him saying, as a patient, you have the right to say, no, how many times do we get wrong medication because we don't? A caregiver to child with the sickness. We always went to the doctors because I asked, Dawa gani? They'll ask you, are you a doctor? I'm like, no, I'm not. And I'm sure most of the caregivers will say that. Because the patient at that point, the crisis they feel. They're like, do whatever you want to do with me as long as you take this thing away from me. But you as a caregiver, you have the right to also understand. So being even a caregiver for a patient, you're also a patient. And when they're in pain, you're also having that. When they're in crisis, you're also in that. So I'm encouraged. Many caregivers, the warriors themselves, information. What to do with that information. And we have also learned something. If you're not on the You cutting shops in the garden. But it's the food, that's why it's so lovely. You don't have to be like, otherwise I'll be in the menu.
You'll be called to, but we are opening and launching something, then now you'll see the patients there, but your voice was not part of the menu.
Yeah,
That's why.
no, you're in the menu, you're being eaten because the money comes, you don't pay.
That's why our voice is our menu. The name is California.
So be at the table. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Nothing about us.
Without that.
Oh, did I introduce myself?
No, you did not. You did not say that.
For the camera, my name is Jenny Kumba. Thank you very much. Dr. Dikono. Thank you very much. I started the same Also for what you. Thank you everyone. Have a good day. Mmenirudisha kwa kweli. So what's next?
So we have to, I have to introduce you when we have a chance looking at it.
Now, this is